fight fans, to The Hook. This week, we're going to make your life a little bit easier by breaking up the show into different videos. That way, you can jump straight to your favorite round.
By the way, this is Eddie Masonette and Paul Navarro, and we're at Lightning Boxing Club here in Oakland, California. We're happy to be here around a great, vibrant environment. Dope setup here. Kids over here boxing, making me look really bad in the process. Shout out to Dynamite David Lopez, one of the young gunners in the game. I'm looking forward to seeing him hitting the bags a little bit more, and we're getting ready to bring you another dope episode of The Hook.
Let's get to it. Round one.
Welcome back. Now we're on round one, and we're getting ready to kick off a recap of the fights that took place on HBO and Showtime this past weekend, as there are a long list of fights. Paul got a chance to check out some of them, and we're going to replay them for you guys here. Paul, kick it off.
All right, man. So look, we start off, before we get into the fights, let's talk about a little bet that we made last week. My man right here, put it down. The Amir Khan fight against Devon Alexander. He said there was going to be a knockdown. That was crazy. Everybody knew nobody was going to knock anybody down. He bet $1. Time to pay up. Thank you very much. This is like Trading Places. You guys know what that movie is? Hopefully you do.
They're too young.
They're probably too young. That's true. That's true. But anyways, now that I've made my money, which is the important part, look, that fight went exactly as everybody knew it was going to go. Devon Alexander, as much of a good boxer as he is, the fact is that Amir Khan has faster hands, has better feet, and now with Virgil Hunter in his corner, he's got a better mindset. He was able to just keep him on the right track. He had a game plan and he kept to it for the first time in his career. You know what? He was able to avoid, all of the things that Devon Alexander does very well. And at the end of the day, the fight was an easy, unanimous decision. Does it put him in place to fight Floyd Mayweather? Not apparently. I don't think that fight's going to happen next. I think that Manny Pacquiao fight is actually going to happen. And to be honest with you, I'm much more excited about that going down anyway. But I think the fight that Eddie was much more interested in had to do with another guy.
One time, Keith Thurman did what he's supposed to do, holding it down for Puerto Rico, as always. That's what we do. We knock dudes out. So we'll make another bet. So that we'll make a bet. The next bet will be who will Keith Thurman not knock down, okay? So that's what we're going to do next.
All right.
But he had a tough fight, Leonard Bundu. Got to give credit to Bundu. I actually thought the fight would end early. Keith Thurman got him a knockdown in the 5th round, but Bundu stuck it out. The dude's like, what, 43, 47, 58 years old? I have
He's
no
like
idea.
96 now, I think.
Yeah, so, Thurman's definitely establishing himself as one of the premier fighters in boxing right now. He's going to start getting himself risen on many top pound-for-pound lists, and it's going to be exciting to see what happens. But bro, you were in Vegas.
I was in Vegas. I was in Vegas.
Did you bring me anything back?
I might buy you a drink off the money that I made in Vegas. How about that? There's that. Exactly. Look, all right. So HBO fight, the Sports Fan Journal. We got the credentials. We were there, ringside. We were watching the fights. And look, there was a good night of fighting and a bad night of decisions. That's just the way. There's no other way to cut it. Like I told everybody, last episode that Jose Benavidez is one of the hottest prospects out there to watch out for him, that this is when he was going to make his debut. He won a title. Not the way that you would want to win a title, right? This guy won it because he's the money man, because he's the guy the promoters are all about. But at the end of the day, Mauricio Herrera showed for the second time in his career how classy of a guy he is. He pushes the pace. He doesn't have knockout power, but he manages still to win fights in the eyes of everyone except for the judges. Right. But you know what his new title is?
I haven't heard.
The unluckiest Latino in boxing. Because he beat Danny Garcia with a jab, didn't get credit for it. He beat Provodnikov in a fight before Provodnikov was big, so nobody really remembers that. And now he beat a young, hot prospect in Jose Benavidez Jr., and he didn't get the win.
Not at all.
He's just the most unlucky man in boxing.
I thought you were the most unlucky Hispanic man.
I got to sit ringside, and I made, look, the Vegas odds for those of you guys out there were 3-1 against Andy Lee in the Matt Korobov fight. Those are ridiculous odds, so I put my money down and cashed in big. Because anybody, I'm honestly, like, if you thought Matt Korobov was going to beat Andy Lee, I don't know what you're on. I really don't.
I watched the fight.
Okay.
And I thought Lee had his moments, but it didn't look like it would end in one flash punch, for sure.
I'll give you that. Look, they both looked like that fight was where both guys looked bad up until the highlight reel knockout.
Yes.
Right? But at the end of the day, the class I thought was going to always show through to Andy Lee. And look, man, he was fighting for Emmanuel Stewart, who was up in the clouds, watching down on him, being like, you know what, man, this is your day. Finally, we're going to make it happen. And it did. Yes. Great knockout, good victory. Paul made money. That's always a good night.
Yeah, so can I have my $1 back, please? Actually, one other person we got to talk about. We got to talk about Bumpy Face. Look like, have you heard of the Bumpy Face? You know, when you go to the liquor store and they have the Seagrams and the Bumpy Face gin? That's what Timothy Bradley looked like after his fight. He got, why does his face lump up like that, dude?
Because Diego Chaves was faster than he thought it was going to be. Yep. He's got damn good pop. Yep. And he just put on a great fight. I mean, honestly, and I don't think Tim, maybe the speed got to him. Maybe it was just the fact that he was like, man, I'm going to steamroll this guy. Yeah. But for whatever reason, he got clipped a lot. That eye started welling up. And you're right, he looked like Bumpy Face. Yeah. But the draw is not what actually happened, man. He deserved to win at least 7 or 8 of those rounds. I don't know why. I mean, that draw is one of the luckiest things that could have happened to Diego Chaves. And maybe at the end of the day, it's because they found out that he made $35K for that fight. A $2 million purse, and this guy got $35K. Yeah. That's ridiculous. I don't know. I mean, he must have the worst manager and negotiators in the business, or maybe he made some of that back-end money off the, the international rights to Argentina. You got to hope so, because otherwise, $35K when Timmy Bradley's walking away with over $1 million. That's crazy. It just doesn't make any damn sense. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me.
So this is a recap for round 1 of the fights on HBO and Showtime this past weekend. Let's go over to round 2.